Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a super cute little Valentine's pouch. It's just a nice creative way to put some treats in a little gift bag or whatever else you might be making. Maybe it's a bag full of super cute crochet scrunchies, which I also have patterns for that you can find in my list of tutorials. Shameless plug for another tutorial there. But anyway, in this video, in this project rather, and please note that you can go ahead and download the printable PDF copy of this pattern if you would like to have the written copy, if you want to follow along to it, if you just want to have it to store away, maybe you keep a binder of patterns or something like that. It is available on my Etsy shop. The link is in the description below. So anyway, for this, you're going to need a 5mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, 2 different colors of yarn. I'm going to be using red and white this time. In the picture you saw, it was red and pink. That's the one I did last time. And also the yarn I'm using is a little different in this video. I'm going to be using Red Heart Soft. In the original one that I made, I was using Soft and Shiny by Loops and Threads. It's a little pouch, it's a bag, it's not something you're wearing. So to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter if you're using the exact yarn that I originally did in the pattern or anything like that. You could even use like big chunky yarn, you could use like whatever. It just obviously will alter the size of the bag depending on what yarn you're using. But this Red Heart Soft is pretty much the same as the Soft and Shiny by Loops and Threads. So, and no particular reason that I'm using this one instead, to be honest with you. It's just what I happen to have. I didn't have any more of that Soft and Shiny. Sorry, I'm changing the view there. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So first we're going to make our starting loop. You're just going to wrap the yarn around your finger and cross it over. Lift up that little bottom piece and push a little bit through the loop and pull. And get your hook on that loop there. If I go too fast with any of the particular stitches, because this is not a stitch tutorial, this is a tutorial for a specific pattern. If you need tutorials for specific stitches, if I move a little bit too quickly, there are some stitch tutorials in my channel as well. If you just go ahead and visit my channel, have a look at all the videos I've got going on there, you will see some stitch tutorials if you need any of these to be slowed down a little bit, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to chain 45. So you're going to yarn over your hook and, sorry, I just let go right there. Yarn over your hook and pull through the loop. So that's one chain. Yarn over and pull through your loop. Yarn over and pull through your loop. So you're just going to go ahead and keep on working that chain until you've gotten to a total of 45 and then come back. Okay, so now for our next step, starting in the second chain from your hook. So there's our first chain right there. We're going to begin in the second one here. You're going to half double crochet. So yarn over your hook, push it through the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. And now you've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull right through all 3. And that's a half double crochet. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to work 1 half double crochet into every single chain all the way down. All right, so you can just go ahead again and pause this video, do 1 half double crochet in every chain down the row, and then come back and I will show you what we're going to do next. Now that you've finished working 1 half double crochet in every chain down your row, we started with a chain of 45. But because we began our half double crochets in the second chain from the hook, you're now going to have a total of 44 stitches, okay? So as long as you have 44 stitches, you know that you're on track and that you haven't picked up an extra one or dropped an extra one, and your work will turn out the way it should, the way it's supposed to. Okay, so now that you've gotten to the end of your row, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now what we're going to do is work a half double crochet in every single stitch all the way down the row. Now keep in mind when you're working in your stitch, because when you worked in the chain, you're going through one, it was pretty straightforward and there's only one little, it looks different when you're working through a stitch. So I'm going to show you the top of the stitch here. When you're looking, for those of you that are maybe a little bit more new to crochet, when you look at the top of your stitch, you're gonna see like this little V shape. You gotta make sure that your hook is going through the entire stitch, okay? Both of those loops. So you're gonna push your hook into the stitch and you see how it looks there? I'm going right through, like that V is on top of my hook, okay? And that's how you know that you're going right through the stitch properly. So you're just gonna go ahead and continue working those half double crochets in every single stitch all the way down the row. And we're gonna continue this for a total of 15 rows, all right? So you're just gonna pause this video and you're gonna continue to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way down. When you get to the end of the row, after you've done that last one, stitch number 44, you're gonna chain 1 and turn your work. And you're just gonna keep on repeating this until you have done it for a total of 15 rows. So we've already done 1 row of half double crochet. You're now working on your second, all right? So that's 2. You're gonna keep going till you've done 15 and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished all 15 rows, you're gonna take your hook out. Just pull a little bit of a loop up so you don't pull any stitches out. And then lay your work like this and fold it in half. Okay, make sure it's even. So this is gonna be the bottom of your pouch. And we're gonna be working, we're gonna have to close up the sides soon, but I just want you to get an idea of what you're looking at right now when you look at your pouch this way. So you're just gonna eyeball where you want your heart to go. If you wanna do a heart, if you wanna do an initial, if you wanna do a word, whatever it is that you wanna do, have a look at where you want it to go. And then go ahead and get your other color yarn. I'm gonna be using white in this one. I used pink in the last one that I did. So let me just show you here how we're gonna do this. You're gonna make a starting loop. Okay, and then you're gonna be working slip stitches to create, it's not gonna actually look like embroidery, but the idea of an embroidered effect, okay? So I'm looking at this as about the middle of my work. So this is where I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna start with the center of my heart, okay? So you're gonna push your hook through the front and get your loop onto your hook there at the back. And then just pull it through, okay? And then you're gonna take your hook and go, it's not, it just, like I said, you're just eyeballing it. So you might have to kind of, this part can be a bit tedious and annoying, but it's worth it when you get it done. But you might have to take it apart and do it again and whatnot, because you're eyeballing it and you're gonna probably be very critical of yourself if you're anything like me, but just do your best. You're gonna push your hook, so going over into a next space here, you're gonna push your hook through, yarn over, and pull your loop right through the loop on your hook. So you're working slip stitches to attach the yarn on the front of your pouch here to make your heart or whatever it is that you're putting on the front. Okay, so you're just gonna go ahead and keep on working your slip stitches until you are happy with whatever shape it is that you want to put on the front of your pouch. If you're leaving it plain, you could just go ahead and move on to the next step. But if you are going to be doing a heart or anything else on it, this is how you will get it onto the front, is by using slip stitches. So go ahead and just finish up this step for yourself. Like I said, if you're leaving it plain, you could just leave this video running, because I'll just move on to the next step with you. If you're going to be putting something on the front, just push pause, finish what you're doing on your pouch, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished working on whatever it is you've decided to put on the front of your pouch, a heart, initial, a word, I've decided to leave this one blank. I just wanted to go through those motions with that white yarn to show you how to go ahead and accomplish what I had done on this one, how I did the little heart shape. But I am leaving this one blank, so that's why you're seeing it like this. You right now will, if you've decided to put something on it, you'll be looking at it right now in front of you, okay? So now what we gotta do to move on to the next step, we're gonna flip our work inside out, okay? Okay, so whatever you've embroidered should be on the inside of this fold now, because we're going to close our seams along the sides of our pouch. So you're going to get your hook back into your loop, and then using slip stitches, we're going to close the side all the way down. So you're just going to push your hook into the corner of both sides, yarn over, and pull your hook right through the loop. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work those slip stitches all the way down. And when you get to the bottom of this side, you're just going to fasten off your yarn and then reattach it. So when you get down here, you're going to fasten it off and you're going to reattach on this side and do the same thing all the way down with your slip stitches and then come back. So now in this next step, we are going to, so you should have closed both seams by now, still with working with our work inside out for the moment. We are going to attach our other color of yarn. So whatever one that you are using as your second color, you're going to make your starting loop. Okay. And we're going to attach it here at one of the seams. Oops, wrong end of my hook there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and reattach it there. Pull that right through, because remember your work's inside out, so you're going to want your knots and your loose ends all on this side. Okay, and you're going to chain one. Now we're going to work a single crochet all the way around. So you're just going to push your hook through, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. And that's a single crochet. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and work your single crochets evenly all the way around and then come on back. Okay, so something I want to mention really quick for those of you that are looking at your stitch counts. So keep in mind that we've just doubled up our work essentially because we folded it in half, right? So what you will have done is work your single crochets evenly all the way around. You would have been lining up with how many rows you have. So by now you should have a total of 30 stitches. Don't worry yourself if you don't, if you have, you know, a couple more or a couple less. It's really not a big deal. You're working on a pouch. All we're doing right now is making a frill. It's not a huge deal if you have, you know, one or two extra or one or two less. But for those of you that really do like to keep track of your stitch counts, I just wanted to mention that for you, okay? So now to close this round, we're going to close with a slip stitch in our chain one space that we started it with. Just going to close that up with a slip stitch. So now we have ended that round. We're going to start a new one now with a chain two. And we're going to work 3 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around. So to do a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, push your hook through your stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So you now have 3 stitches on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2. So we're going to do that 2 more times in the same stitch. Okay. And now we'll move on to the next one. So we're going to work 3 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished that round, you are going to close this round with a slip stitch in the top of the chain 2 space. And we're going to chain 2 again to start this next round. So we're going to work 2 double crochets in the first stitch. Sorry about that. And 1 in the next. 2 in the following. And 1 in the next. And you're just going to keep on working that all the way around till you get back to the start, alternating between 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around, and then come back. Okay, So now that you're back to the start, we finished that round, you're going to close with a slip stitch in the top of that chain 2 space. And then you're going to pull some yarn through and fasten it off. Okay. And we're going to flip our work right side in. And then what you're going to do, you're just going to be using a yarn needle to hide all of your tail ends. Don't worry about how many tail ends you're seeing in mine. I actually ran out of the white yarn and had to change it. So that's why there's so many tail ends in my work. But you're just going to use a yarn needle to hide all those ends by weaving them in and out of the stitches on the inside. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you are going to get a few pieces of both of the colors of yarn that you used to make your pouch. Okay. And you're just going to cut a few even lengths of it together. And you're just going to go ahead and braid them. And then you're going to take the braided pieces and weave them in and out of the double crochets along the base of your ruffle. And you will use it to have your little drawstring that can close the top of your pouch like this. See how it's weaved in and out there? All throughout. So that's what you're going to be doing to create a little drawstring that closes your pouch. And in case if you don't know how to braid, I'm just going to give you a little quick tutorial of its own just on how to braid. So you're going to have your 3 pieces. You're just going to break up your yarn into 3 sections, however you want that to be. Okay, you're going to want something that holds the top tight. I usually get like a little safety pin or something and just clip it to something to hold it tight. And then all you're going to do is just take your pieces on the side and fold them over the middle one. So when it would look a little better if I had something to hold this down so it's tight, but basically you're just going to fold over the middle from right to left. Over the middle, over the middle, over the middle, okay? And you're just gonna, that's how you're gonna braid it. You're gonna do that all the way down. Obviously, if you had something holding onto it, it'll pull it tight. And that's it. It's gonna create your drawstring. You're just gonna tie it off on the bottoms. You could even just go ahead and do, you don't have to braid it. You can do single crochet chains to go ahead and create your drawstring. It's whatever you want to do, or slip stitches or whatever. There's lots of different ways to create your drawstrings however you want to, but whatever way you decide to go ahead and do that, you're then going to just weave it in and out along the base of your ruffle. And that's it. You'll have your cute little Valentine pouch.